Hello and welcome back to the Avoid the Tyrewall podcast. Today I'm joined by a very special guest, Claire Johnson. Claire, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure, definitely. So, hi everyone. My name's Claire, also known as the Naked Warrior, and I am a motorsport fitness, nutrition, performance coach. And I work with a number of different teams and individual drivers and also motorcycle riders on their training, their nutrition, and also support them at track days as well. Whether it be the race weekends or testing days and things like that. So, I have a combination of different programs that I work with them for. It might be face to face, online, or through my RaceFit app as well.
So you mentioned motorsports. Where did your passion for motorsports come from?
I've always had an interest in, F1, and grew up with my brother watching F1 and having an interest in it, and also driving fast. But I guess the motorsport side of what I do really kicked off as we were coming out of, I think it was the second lockdown. In the first lockdown, I wrote my second book, which was called The Winning Formula: Discovering Your Secrets to Being Alpha Female. And in that, it was interviewing women all at the top of their field, their game, if you like, but in traditional male orientated sports. So obviously part of that was motorsport. As we were coming out of lockdown, karting was one of the only things that you could go and do. So I went karting, and I got noticed on track for being quite fast. Looked to do a book launch to get more women into motorsport, coincided with the book, having a couple of guest speakers there as well at my local team sport. They then asked me to become a BIKC ambassador and represent and compete in the BIKC that year, which I did. And then also started working with Formula Woman as their lead nutritionist and trainer, doing all the fitness assessments and designing the training that the ladies were doing. And I think out the 50 finalists, there was about 22 that were working with me directly on their fitness and their training, and also a lot of their mindset and nutrition to make sure that they were getting fit to race. And then from there, worked with FIA Girls on Track. And it's just basically accelerated and escalated. I've done a lot of work with individual teams. I work with Praga and Idola, Dragon Sport and the Clio Cup. Done some corporate work for Alpine as well, and also for FIM Females in Motorcycling, and worked with a number of different people within that organisation as well. So it's, motorsport in terms of racing cars, be that single seaters as well, motorbikes, and also karting.
When you began RaceFit, did you realise just how much work goes into the fitness behind racing?
Yes, absolutely. It was one of the key reasons why I so passionate about it. And obviously a massive belief in it. Motorsport fitness is different than any other type of fitness that you do. The demands that you have behind a wheel or on a bike, they're even different. Demands of your race season, having the stamina and endurance to be able to perform at your top end, it takes a lot of off-season training, and also making sure that you're eating the right foods at the right time as well. So, massively passionate. And, I've worked with people in the past, and they would say to me, oh, I'm working with a trainer at a gym. They're a bodybuilding world champion of this category, so I'm just going to use them, because they'd hear that they were a world champion. By all means, use that person if you're going to be doing a bodybuilding competition. But for someone who's, I've competed in figure female bodybuilding competitions myself, and got titles as well. And the training that I did for that is massively different to the training that I do for racing. So it's not just about being fit, and it's not just about being strong. It's about having the right type of fitness and strength in the right areas for the discipline that you're in. So yeah, massively passionate about it, and making sure that each person has the right bespoke program for them.
If someone subscribes to / signs up for your RaceFit program, what can they expect?
Well, they can expect to receive a comprehensive program that is being designed by an expert in the field who has relevant race experience, and also the right knowledge to be able to create performance programs for that discipline, depending on what it is that they're racing in. It doesn't have to be high level. There's beginner, intermediate, and advanced options. They'll be getting a tailor-made fitness program with their nutrition plans, literally on the app, in the palm of their hand. It's like working with me one-to-one, and they get effective progressive training programs which they can dip in and out of depending on where they are in their season, which targets all the right specific motorsport areas with those key exercises that are, again, specific to motorsport.
What fitness advice would you give to drivers just starting out?
Make it a habit and make it a priority.
What do you wish more people knew about fitness?
In general or within motorsport?
Both?
Um, I guess in general, it's it's improving your quality of life, like long term. It helps with so many different things. There's a big connection between your mental health and your physical health. So that's a whole another podcast. In terms of making sure that people understand they need to be fit for racing, I think it's essential. There's this misconception that you just sat in a car driving around, and it is physical. It's very demanding. And you're trying to perform at your top end, frequently under fatigue, so you need to train yourself to be fitter so that you can perform for longer before that fatigue sets in, and also reduce the physiological responses that your body has when racing hard as well.
Um, we see people saying, I don't know if you saw the comments on Bianca Bustamante's post about joining McLaren. Women can't be racing drivers because they're too weak. Women can't be racing drivers because they're physically less capable. Do you think that this drives your work more? For example, proving used loosely there, that women
Yeah,
can be just as strong as men, if not more.
that's a great question. I think regardless if you're male or female, you still need to be fit and strong for the discipline that you're racing in. Just because a driver's female, if they're not conditioned to race, then they're not going to be strong to race. Likewise, if they're male, if they're not conditioned to race, then they won't be able to perform at their best. And I work with both male and female clients, and the ones that are getting the results are the ones that do the work. So yeah, I do not buy into that monologue at all.
Yeah, it really winds me up when it's always men with no profile photo and some random username like Barry Bob 7495. It's it's just we faced adversity as women, we faced adversity for so much of our that's not English, for so long. And like, I get hate for being a female content creator in motorsports. It's just grinds my gears.
It's even more motivation to keep doing what you're doing then.
Absolutely. What is the toughest thing that you've had to overcome?
In work life or personal life,
Both?
or just in I suppose from a professional perspective, it's there's challenges in what you do every day, and looking to build your profile, looking to get your clients, looking to maintain them as well. So I don't know if there's a big toughest challenge. It's all the challenges that you face can be tough, and it's about having the tenacity to stay consistent in your work and having the self-belief in your ability to to give you the confidence to keep driving forward, if you pardon the pun. But it's making sure that you have the right mindset to be overcome any challenge, no matter how big or small it is. And I guess that would be related to both professional and personal, to be fair.
Which racing memory do you hold most fondly?
Oh God, that's a great question. God, what would that be? It's probably more about the teams that I'm working with, and at what time, and the different stages of the championships. Um, there have definitely been standout ones along the way. Definitely some great ones with Dragon Sport. Most recently, they won the Britcar Trophy Championship, which was awesome. And it was a very nail biting last round that we were having. We had to win the race or win the points and make sure we stayed in the race. So just seeing the hard work of any team, and for instance, when I've been working with Idola and racing the Prague R1s, the people that I get to meet and work with, they're all standout highlights as well. And most recently being asked to go to a female motorsport event in France was a great standout memory as well, because it's seeing a new track, it's visiting new places, and it's seeing other people on an international level who are equally as passionate about motorsport as women are over in this country. So I guess they're probably the things that spring to mind when you ask me that question.
What would you say are your core beliefs?
uh Core beliefs would be integrity, having like being credible, being a role model, doing what you say you're going to do, and having that integrity around that as well. Leading the way, standing up for what you believe in, and not being afraid to be disruptive as well.
If you could choose to drive in one race, which one would you choose?
Oh, that would be Le Mans.
That is, I really want to go to Le Mans. It's quite high on my list because it's like really cheap as well to get to. Well, not to get to, but like it's cheap
Yeah,
to go to. For the week, it's
it's
like €90.
I know it's an incredible week. I just feel, I know a lot of people who've been, and just the atmosphere would be amazing to be a part of, and to have the ability to be able to participate in a race in some form would just be the number one go to.
We touched a bit on this earlier, but how much relation is there between mental health and fitness?
uh they're directly linked. If you think of a triangle, it's your thoughts, your mental health, coupled with the food that you're putting in your body, coupled with what your exercise and activity levels are, and you need to have all of those three areas balanced and focused on to promote overall wellness and health, and be able to perform at your best on any level, regardless if it's within motorsport or not. There is a direct correlation between the food you put in your body and how it makes you feel. There's a direct correlation between like your thoughts as well, and then the food you choose to eat, and then how you also feel about yourself and your energy levels. So it's all kind of linked in together. So yeah, that's a whole other podcast as well.
If you could choose one driver, current or former, to mentor, who would you choose?
Gosh, to mentor, it would have to be whoever's like the up and coming next big driver, to be a part of their journey and champion them all the way and support them in the way that I know is the right way to do. If I'm mentoring someone, then that would be awesome to do. So anyone who's kind of already F3, F4, like that level, which I'm working with people in that at the moment, so seeing their progression and their possibility is awesome. If I was looking for someone to mentor me and someone that I could learn from, then like the ultimate would probably be for me, so would be Senna. To be in his company and see how he addresses racing, and his tenacity and his ability to keep striving for the best would have been awesome to be a part of.
You mentioned up and coming drivers. The first person my mind went to, Kimi Antonelli. Obviously, moving from Formula Regional to Formula 2 is a massive step. But I've actually spoken to him before, and people are comparing him to Senna, and
Right.
not looks wise, but like he's just got raw talent. He's just incredible.
Yeah, there's a lot of good young drivers that are coming through, and it's really interesting to see what else is needed nowadays, more than just having that raw talent, which obviously is definitely needed, but it's making sure that if they want to have longevity in the sport that they love and be able to perform at their best, that they're getting these right fitness and nutrition habits in right from a young age, because this is what's going to make the key difference if they want to take it to the top and stay at the top for as long as they want to.
Definitely, like Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso are still there, and they're
Yeah.
literally like, I don't know how old, can't remember.
They're over 40, put it that way.
What is your dream road car?
It would be a McLaren Senna.
Fair enough, that's a very good choice. Do you think series like F1 Academy and W Series are necessary?
I do, and I was asked this question a lot with the British Indoor Karting Championship for BIKC, because I'm an advocate and a champion to create a like an all-female event within that. And it's not to keep it segregated, it's because I feel that it would make it more accessible to more women wanting to try to build up their confidence, to then they could go and compete in mixed races. And I still think that there is a need for that on different levels, not just in karting, but also within motorsport as a whole, to help improve women's self-belief that they can do it, get their confidence up, and then move into more mixed as well.
Definitely, because I assume you see the men in the men in the comments of like F1 Academy, like, oh, she should go back to the kitchen. What's the point of this? But like I've spoken to several female drivers, and it's just a struggle for them to get the sponsorship, and obviously like having, like you said, the younger or the people coming in from the BIKC, that's just, it's necessary because we don't see enough representation. And like in Formula Regional, they've got a separate women drivers sort of championship, which people might be like, oh, well, it's segregation. Like, no, it's not. It's promoting them, because then people like sponsors. If I had tons of money, I'd go, oh, who's P1 in, the females championship? Oh, I'll throw a ton of money at them. Like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I know, and I agree with that. It's, I'm a massive believer and advocate for anything that's raising the profile of women in motorsport, and I don't tend to listen to those other comments that small-minded people tend to make. But if there's anything that can be done to raise the profile, give women more opportunities and access to be able to race, then yeah, let's do it. As long as it doesn't stay separate, and then there is that avenue to build forward, then yes.
What is the longest British circuit?
Ooh, great question. That's surely it's Silverstone.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a curveball then. I doubted myself.
In which country was the title Grand Prix first used?
France.
Correct. No one ever gets that one.
It's French Grand Prix.
Uh, who is the oldest driver to finish a Formula race, and how old was he?
Current or like they're currently racing or not?
He is not currently racing. I think he's dead.
Would it be Jim Clark?
No, it is Louis Chiron, aged 55.
Okay.
What team was Jenson Button driving for when he won his title in 2009?
Red Bull.
Braun GP. How long is the Nürburgring Nordschleife?
Oh, I know this one. I work it out all the time. Don't do well under pressure. Maybe lap record is about 7 minutes. Oh God, can't do the maths. 30k, 27k, somewhere around there.
I'll give it to you. 24 kilometers.
Okay. Oh.
In 1971, which team did Bernie Ecclestone buy?
Jordan.
Brabham.
No, yeah.
At the 2008 Turkish Grand Prix, what record did Rubens Barrichello break, which has since been broken by Kimi Raikkonen and Fernando Alonso?
Wouldn't have a clue.
Sorry.
I was going to try and have a guess. Most overtakes?
Most race starts.
Right.
How many teams competed in the 2005 US Grand Prix?
9.
3. What is Sir Stirling Moss regarded as?
It's an icon of motorsport.
Yes, but
Yeah.
there's also something else.
Like the granddad of motorsport or something.
The greatest driver to never win a championship.
Okay.
I'll give you half a mark.
Yeah. Wow.
How many Formula One wins does Max Verstappen have?
I know he's got 3 world championships. God, how many wins does he have? Well, just for this year?
All time.
All time. 33?
51.
Do you know what I was going to go 50? And I was like, okay, anyway.
Can you name this circuit?
I can't really say it. It's really blurry. No, no, that's not brands, is it? Is it?
Yeah,
Yep. Perfect.
got 4.5.
Oh dear, you stumped me on the general knowledge, put me under pressure.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of the Avoid the Tyrewall, and thank you to Claire for agreeing to do this interview. See you next week. Bye!